Good morning. My name is Lilia Romero Bosch. I'm a resident of this town. I'm a mom, and I've been trained in caring for children of all ages, and specifically in terms of caring for their mental and physical health. We're going to talk this morning about substance use prevention. And so one of the points I want to really drive home today is the fact that the best way to treat substance use is to prevent it. We spend a lot of time talking about football injuries, soccer injuries, head injuries, because we're concerned now that we know more about the traumatic brain injuries that those sports cause. No one's understanding that substance use is another traumatic brain injury. Once the brain has been exposed to these chemicals, the rewiring and hardwiring and the thermostat for pleasure seeking is changed in a way that we can never go back and replace it to its natural form. That individual will be forever addicted and seeking that reward. And this is why it's important for us to remember that no one can become an addict unless they try substances first. So please teach your children. Teach them early, teach them for as long as you can and as long as they'll listen about the risks of substances. Some children will come to their parents and they'll have their arguments ready. They'll have their points and their information and education that they've gathered from sources. You want them to know that you're a reliable resource. There are areas of our brain that drive reward and behavior and pleasure seeking. We've heard everyone talk about that, but we fail to understand how powerful that really is. The areas of our brain that drive reward and pleasure seeking are so deeply ingrained that in some cases, if we ignore the messages that they're giving us, we could die. For example, when a person has Parkinson's disease and it becomes very serious, the area of the brain that releases pleasure chemicals is damaged beyond repair. And when that happens, motivation stops. I'm not talking about motivation to get your homework done. I'm talking about motivation to seek water when you're thirsty, food when you're hungry, sleep when you're tired. Those are critical behaviors. If we ruin that or rewire it in such a way that the motivation exists, but it's focused completely on seeking the pleasure of that next high or that next hit or that next substance, that will blot out any other drive that that child has. Forget worry about getting in trouble with parents, forget safety about driving, forget safety about sexting, forget safety about homework. Nothing else will matter but that drive to seek the next high and the next substance use. That wiring that children are being exposed to, it doesn't mature until you're in your mid-20s, much later than we used to think. That's why we're focusing so much on the prevention, because we have all these years to expose our brain and to the danger that rewires us. And that's what we don't want for our children. We need to start early and we need to continue until they're well into young adulthood. And those are the years that are most concerning for us. They're off driving, they're out partying with friends, they're going off to college. If you don't teach them early, it's going to be very hard during those ages for them to listen.